Welcome back to Bachelor Tea Party. I'm Lauren Herbert, filling in for Zuri this week, but don't worry, she will be back next week as usual. But of course, we still have Ashley Iaconetti Haibon. Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
And today we also have Katie Morton with us. Hi, Katie.
Hi, guys.
I'm so excited to talk to you guys about last night's episode of The Bachelor. So let's get into it. First of all, Piper and Matt had this epic one-on-one at a carnival. How do we feel about their connection?
I feel good about their connection. I actually felt better about their connection last week when he pulled her aside during that group date and kissed her during her interview. That was peak Piper and Matt. This week, I still feel good about them. She was very emotionally vulnerable, and I see her getting to like top 6-ish. We'll see.
But last night, though, she did say she was falling in love with him, but he didn't say it back.
Yeah, all these falling in love with you moments are like way too early.
Okay, I was about to say that. Way too early, right?
Ridiculous. That is top 4 stuff. You have a while to go. I just feel like it almost like I believe them, but it still comes across a little insincere saying it this early.
Yeah, there's just like, I feel like I haven't heard that until like top 4. I mean, I think we probably have outside of the top 4, maybe like top 6 or something like that. But like, I feel like ultimately that happens way later down the line, and it's like jumping the gun a little bit.
On this season, yeah.
Yeah, it's jumping the gun a little bit. And it's like, maybe they are actually falling, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just a little early to most seasons, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, feel it fine, but don't say it yet.
Just don't say it. Yeah, just save that for a couple more episodes in. But guys, we do need to talk about Heather. She showed up. What are you thinking? Why do you think she showed up? What do you think about her debut in that minivan?
Heather was on my season. I am friends with Heather. I think that we, as her friends, thought she would be a good match for Matt before he was gonna go on. I think, yeah, they have like the same values. They have great personalities. I haven't met him in person, but from what I hear, they have similar personalities. So to me, it made sense for her to go on the show, although I was a bit worried as to how it would go down.
And I think those worries came to fruition when we see her entering this week, week 6, which is when, this is the week that the producers start calling families or like setting up hometown dates. That's how far along we are. Like, I got eliminated in episode 6 of my season, and we were already starting to plan my hometown date. It's crazy. So the timing was absolutely not ideal. I wish Heather would have been like, oh, I'm going in this week. I can't do it anymore, guys. Like, I'm not going to do this. And then just like everything was just made a joke. And I'm not saying I love Heather. She's the sweetest. Like, I want the best for her. I really like want everybody to protect her here because she's not the one who chose to pull up in a minivan. Come on.
I also don't think she was the one that that really truly chose to show up week 6.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, I wish they would have thrown her in with the other girls when they arrived 2 weeks ago.
Well, I really hope she just doesn't get bullied from these girls, but like, who knows with this group of women? We have a different bully every week, which, speaking of, we have Katie, who was the one that was standing up against the bully. She had this great one-on-one with Matt. I thought, when I was watching it, I'm like, oh, they're just friends. Like, I don't think there's anything romantic with them. But what did you guys think? She ended up obviously getting sent home, but
when she told Matt about him needing to like stand up for other girls in the room, it immediately right then I was like, they've got a friendship. Because the way he even like embraced her, it was more like, thanks, I appreciate you, not thank you, now let's get to us because now we're outside and we have some time.
Yeah.
It was more like, talk to you later.
Had she even kissed him at all during this journey? I just did not feel like that would even be natural for them. I kind of feel like this date was hilarious with Tyler. It was so good with, you know, the in-ear piece and all that I wish it was saved for somebody who he did have a good chemistry with, just because it allowed for so much like good flirty banter and to get to know each other's sense of humor that I almost feel like it was wasted on somebody he didn't have a future with. But, you know, whatever. That's the most minute complaint ever, because it was hilarious and I want more pranking friends dates on The Bachelor.
But that gets us moved on to our next segment. We are gonna throw some shade. It is time to talk about the shadiest moments of the night. First up, there was some shade between MJ and Jasenia. Whose side were you guys on in this situation?
I was on Jasenia's side, but to be honest, the entire fight just phased out on my computer. Just, is this over yet?
Yeah.
I don't know. What is the root of this argument?
It was exhausting to watch. The only time I thought it was fun to watch was when I watched it in a meme, I think, and it was like toddler voices of them having the fight. That was what I thought it was funny, but actually watching the show, I thought, no, I can't. I liked MJ at first, which made me disappointed.
She was sent home by Matt. Did you think that was the right choice?
I did think that was the right choice. I did not think that he had too much of a chemistry with Jasenia. It was one of those instances where, like, I thought he could have eliminated both because I didn't think that he had the strongest connection with either. What is mind-boggling to me that is not only that Jasenia got the rose that time, but she definitely appears to get the rose at this upcoming rose ceremony because she's in so many of the scenes from the next episode. It looks like she has a one-on-one.
That's so. I was just thinking, like, I wasn't even thinking about that, actually. That's a good point. But I was thinking, oh, maybe Matt knows that it's going to get harder and harder each week, right? So maybe he saves a rose because he's like, I know I'm not going to give this one a rose. So the next rose ceremony, I won't give her a rose then. You know what I mean? Like, save the non-roses.
I get your science.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Now, what about Serena and Katie? Serena accuses Katie of like not being there for the right reasons, for not being there with Matt. What did you think? I felt, for me, it was just like, can we get over the mean girl drama? Like, it's why?
Again, I was like, what? Because those two fights that they had, totally inconsequential to the rest of the storyline. Katie gets eliminated not because of that, but because there's no chemistry. And it's just like, why did we even have to waste 6 minutes of airtime to see that fight, which literally was just hot air?
Yeah, it's frustrating because I feel like it's all wasting time not seeing actually like the moments of chemistry we need to see between Matt and whoever it's going to be.
Yeah, and like people just keep getting cut, and we're like, wait, we thought they had something. Like, first there was Kayla, then there was Lauren, and then there was Brittany, and now I'm afraid it's gonna be Abigail because she's not in the scenes in the next episode. We all loved her, so you're telling us she got the first impression rose, and somehow this connection fell off, but we don't even get answers as to why it fell off. So please give me those 6 minutes to explain why things aren't going right with Abigail.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's literally like that's what keeps happening this whole season. I feel like everyone's just like a mystery. Like someone just like pops up and you're like, oh yeah, and then they're just gone. You're like, okay, bye. Every single person. This is a weird season because I thought I was gonna actually like. I really enjoyed the beginning because everyone was new to the process. Like Matt was new, everyone was new, and now I'm feeling like, with the editing, I'm not connected to any one girl. Like I thought to myself, oh, Abigail and Bree, or like one of my final 4 I'd chosen in the beginning, and like even second week. Like after second week, I felt like I didn't even get to see any people that I thought might be my final 4. So I couldn't make a real final 4 without feeling totally like I totally doubted it and poor whoever ends up with Matt, because I don't get to see your story, whoever you are.
Perfect, Katie. I'm not going to elaborate. You just said it all.
You just dropped the mic on that. So it's time then to move on to our next and final segment, roses and thorns. If you like the moment, give it a rose. And if you didn't like it, give it a thorn. Okay. So first up, Tyler Cameron getting pranked on Katie's one-on-one.
Rose.
Super fun. I liked it.
It's really cute.
It was also perfect for Tyler. He's silly. He has a silly relationship with Matt. I thought it showed it
Can
perfectly.
we talk about Matt's TikToks about charcuterie boards? Because if you haven't watched them, you must.
I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, Katie, they're so good.
So funny.
I have to go watch after this.
But you know, a lot of Bachelor Nation fans think it might be a hint to who he picks.
Why? Because she's like obsessed with charcuterie or something?
Yeah, she said it in her Bachelor bio. And that's all I will say about that.
Okay, I'll go look up who said that.
Yes, viewers, go look up. Do your little internet sleuthing. So next one, what do we think of the group date, the bowling alley? Is it a rose or thorn? 1, 2, 3.
It's a thorn because we've seen the exact same day on Ari's season. And because it was the weirdest storyline ever. We have to talk about this. Okay, so they compete, right, for alone time. The blue team goes home. Then the blue team gets invited back. And he's like, sorry, guys. I had to have time with all of you. But then we only see his conversations with the pink team.
Another weird edit.
I'm telling you guys.
I need answers.
I do too. My thought is that, like, are they editing something out so significant that, like, it's made this episode feel so like having no continuity?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's so significant. Like, we can't see one blue team.
Exactly.
Who was on the blue team?
Well, Rachel and Abigail for no, but what I thought was really weird was that it was leading up. It seemed like the edit was leading to Abigail having a big moment.
But then nothing.
And then nothing.
Super.
When is Abigail's big moment? Do we think that edits? No, it can't be because outfits. I'm like, do we think that edits next week when we think Abigail's not there? I don't know.
I mean, they didn't even tease a big moment with Abigail, but just what it made it seem was she was like, I haven't had enough time. Like, I really need to know him. And, like, that's why I really need to win this. And then
You think they would have had a moment. You think she would have talked it out. They would have had a moment, but nothing. But instead,
even a non-moment where she was like, I'm sad I didn't get to talk to him.
Yeah. But, like, even if their conversation wasn't amazing, I'd want to see it because I'd want to see why it was, like, why she's not meeting the expectations that we had for her on night 1.
100%. It's like, I need, at the end of the day, I need answers. And every time I don't get answers, I go to my phone, which makes it hard to do, like, that's why I was just telling you guys, it makes it hard to do things like talk about the show when you can't get as invested in each individual person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I started off wanting to be invested, and then I was like, oh, Michelle, she's new, and she seems like I want to be invested, and then it's like,
well,
everything's...
how invested were you in Zach and Tayshia? Because I lived for them every week. I was like, today is Zach and Tayshia day.
Yeah, like, I saw so much Zach. I was like, either something's gonna go wrong with him or this is the person type of thing. Like, he's gonna either blow up or it's gonna be him because we're seeing so much of him. But this is so bizarre to me. And there's not one person, like, and other than, like, Victoria, who we've seen so much of. That's the only person I saw a lot of who I could tell you had a full-on storyline.
Yeah. And then other than Victoria is Katie. Obviously, she did not have that romantic relationship with Matt, but now this leads me into our last rose or thorn. There are rumors swirling at Bachelor Nation right now that are claiming Katie is the next Bachelorette. So what do we think? A rose or thorn? 1, 2, 3.
It's a rosy.
It's a rosy thorn.
Oh, it's a thorny rose. Why do we always do this? It's a thorny rose for me. Katie, you go first.
Why is it a thorny rose?
Okay. Well, so I think that she's amazing at standing up for herself and the other girls. She truly defines, like, the woman in the house supporting other women. And I like the fact that, like, they're going to celebrate that and reward that type of positive behavior. However, I don't feel like I'm invested in her finding love. You know, like, we didn't see her heartbroken. She's not the most romantic of characters. And that's why, and I just like, we got to know her a bit, but like we did not fully invest, which is why it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm like super stoked to see her as a Bachelorette. I think she'll definitely pull off she's a great, strong woman in the role, but I don't have like she's not a sympathetic character to me in any way. So that's why I'm like not all the way there.
See, the reason I said Rose was because to me, I'm always thinking like a hopeless romantic should be the one up there, like someone who's just like, we are invested in this big love story. But like, no shade to Claire, we saw how that worked out with Claire. And then Tayshia was one that was like, I wouldn't say like the most hopeless romantic of a person. Like on Colton's season, she was very like, when Colton broke up with her, like I think she cried later. Like it was like it was more of like a cold breakup, although they had a different relationship. But like even on Paradise, I wouldn't say that Tayshia was like the most like had this heartbreak like love story thing happen. But she ended up being a really good Bachelorette.
One of the great
So that's the only reason I like believe in it a little bit more now, or else I totally agree with you, Ashley. I'm not invested in her love story.
Gotcha. I can see that. I can see that.
Last question. When do you guys think it's going to be announced?
Well, if it was as rumored during Women Tell All, then I would imagine that it is announced when that airs.
Who else would be it?
We have Peter's girls that like could be, but also I don't know. They're all Paradise.
We're already overlooked for Claire and Tayshia, so I don't think they have a shot. Then
Abigail.
Abigail is who I would hope it was if it wasn't Katie.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, oh, poor Peter season.
Poor Peter season. Well, guys, I think this wraps up this episode of Bachelor Tea Party. Thank you guys for joining us. And guys, make sure you check out our Facebook page, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.